Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received the head of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, Odile Renubasu, in Cairo on Wednesday. During the meeting, he congratulated the European official for her election as a First Lady to occupy the post. The President expressed appreciation for the distinguished relations binding both Egypt and the bank, especially in light of the crucial role played by the EBRD as a main partner of Egypt's development success during the past few years. The head of state asserted the continuation of fruitful cooperation with the EBRD in support of its targets and development priorities through a new strategy of mutual cooperation in the coming 5 years. He said such cooperation comes in light of the comprehensive and sustainable development process at the economic and social levels in Egypt. For her part, Basu praised Egypt's success in implementing its economic reform program, being a model to follow for the African countries, especially during the coronavirus pandemic. The President received the head of the World Jewish Congress, Ronald Lauder, on Wednesday. During the meeting, President al-Sisi stressed the strategic relations between Egypt and the United States, especially amid the current challenges facing the region. The head of state expressed keenness to enhance joint cooperation between the two sides during the coming period. Lauder, for his part, praised the distinguished ties binding both countries and expressed appreciation for Egypt's role to maintain security and stability in the Middle East and Africa. He also praised Egypt's efforts in reaching settlements to several regional issues and praised the economic and reform achievements in the comprehensive development process. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli instructed ministries and concerned authorities on Wednesday to apply precautionary measures and decisions by the cabinet to confront the coronavirus pandemic. During the cabinet meeting, Madbouli also discussed the current economic situation, highlighting the Fitch latest report that Egypt's economy witnessed positive growth despite the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic.
Presiding over a cabinet meeting via video conference on Wednesday, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli stressed the significance of decisively activating instant fines on violators of precautionary measures against coronavirus pandemic, as well as intensifying campaigns on various installations like malls, restaurants and cafes to follow up their abidance with such measures, stressing that violators would be exposed to instant fines and closures. For her part, Minister of Health and Population, Dr. Hele Zaid, reviewed the latest developments of the pandemic, saying the average of cases had witnessed a noticeable increase during the past week. The minister presented plans by her ministry to confront the spread of the virus, especially in the governorates that witnessed big numbers of cases like Sohag. She confirmed that the ministry is working to secure the strategic storage of oxygen, adding that a number of hospitals had been transferred into isolation hospitals. Minister Zayed said the fatalities among medical staff had decreased thanks to providing medical installations with sufficient precautionary equipment and carrying out a number of training programs on combating infection besides inoculating medical staff since January. She said that Egypt has now 208 centers that offer vaccines to citizens at the national level. During the cabinet meeting, Premier Madbouli also discussed the current economic situation, highlighting Fitch agency that Egypt's economy had witnessed positive growth despite the outbreak of coronavirus pandemic. The Prime Minister referred to the International Monetary Fund expectations for the country's domestic production rates to reach 2.5% in 2021 and exceed 5.7% in 2022. He affirmed that the international institutions' praise has pushed forward the state's utmost efforts to preserve the latest economic achievements.
Egypt reported 855 new coronavirus infections, bringing the total number of cases over 218,000 since the outbreak hit the country in mid-February last year. The Health Ministry also reported 42 new deaths, bringing the total number of fatalities to near 12,820. The ministry added that 556 patients were discharged from hospitals, raising the numbers of those who recovered to 164,368. Minister of Social Solidarity Naveen Kabbaj met with the delegation of the Youth Political Parties Coordination Group, discussing means of boosting joint cooperation during the coming period. During the meeting, Kabbaj reviewed the ministry's efforts through various programs for social protection and development. Meanwhile, the delegation discussed a number of proposals to enhance cooperation with the ministry within the state's strategy to achieve sustainable development. A protocol will be signed between the ministry and the Youth Political Parties Coordination Group as a milestone for joint cooperation in the legislative, development and executive fields. Syria's President Bashar al